Hello YouTube. Hello YouTube. Today I'd like to do a video on the mod for converting the Radioddity QT over to the CB band. And this is a fairly simple modification, and I just want to show you some points here before we get started. Now, the first thing I'd like to show you is, I'll save you a lot of trouble here, do not remove the top cover. And they're bolted or screwed here and here, and there's two screws, one for the top cover and one for the bottom cover here. Okay, don't remove that one. Okay, so what you want to do is flip the radio over to the speaker side, okay? And then you want to lay this down and remove these screws. There's two on each side, like so. And there's two, like I showed you earlier, there's two here. You want to remove this top one, which I haven't removed yet. And you want to be careful. This is the side your speaker is on, and you might want to remember that when getting ready to do this mod, that the panel you need to take off is the one with the speaker in it. Now, when you lay your speaker, your cover, when you take your cover and lay it out or take off the cover, be cautious to where you don't jerk or strain the speaker wires. And if I remember right, there's enough wires in there that you don't have to. So let's see if we can remove this cover. And it's real straightforward. You kind of pull back and it pops off. And it looks like the speaker wire is on this side. Yes, it is. So, and you can unplug that. I'm not going to. There's enough wire here that you just lay it down side by side. Okay. Okay, we're in the radio right now. Kind of straining it just a little too, but we're in the radio. Let me see if I can get there. We go. Now it's not so strained. Alright. Okay, once you get the cover off, what you want to look for is a little jumper. Now I want to give some cautions. You've got, this is the jumper you want up here. It's in front of this IC with the heatsink. But you also, over here in the corner, have these two jumpers. Do not, I repeat, do not change them or move them under any circumstance. Okay, this is the one you want to do. And I'll see if I can get us in just a little closer to that. Okay, this little jumper here, and it's in 10-meter mode. You want to pull it up, move it over to that. There's one little pin there. See it right there? You want to pull this up and put it down where the end of this jumper is on that pin, and push it down, and you're in CB mode. You've converted it to CB mode. Now, I'll try to demonstrate this as good as I can, and I'll be right back here in a second. Okay, these radios are software driven, and most of the circuitry in them is surface mount, as is very common nowadays. In fact, that's certainly the norm for nowadays rather than the insertion. So what I do is, I recommend that you use a static band to ground yourself to the chassis of the radio so you don't risk blowing anything. And I'll show you a cheap and easy way to do it if you'd like to see it. I take a standard wristwatch like this. It's got a middle band. You got to have a middle band on it. And I just take a set of regular jumper leads, and I take one of them, and I just clip it on the band. I just clip it on the band of the watch like that, okay? And I take the other one, and very carefully I clip it on the chassis of the radio, just like that. So now I'm grounded, okay? Now, the actual modification is really pretty easy, and we'll get to that here now in just a second. Let me get back to you. Okay, Alright, I got to reground myself here. Okay, this is the little jumper that you want to remove. And with your ground strap on, as you see here, simply grab the jumper and pull it up. You see it's completely off, and move it down one notch towards the back of the radio and put it back on. And that's basically what I've done right there. So that's it. That's the modification from 10 meters to 11 meters CB band. And all you have to do now, and I'll go through that process, is reassemble that process and put the radio back together. And there's no really wrong way to do that. If it's seated right, you're in business. Okay, what you always want to do, even after doing a simple modification like this, is check your work, which I have done, and I got a magnifier out off camera and looked to be sure that the lags on this were, you know, that the jumper was connecting and it was down, and which it is. So okay, very carefully what you want to do is take this cover, and you want to watch. This is a plug-in. You could remove this, but I don't want to get the plug loose unless I have to. So very slowly, and watching this wire, be sure it don't get on that heat sink, and just kind of slowly bring your cover back over and get it lined up. And you want to set it down here up on the lip of this chrome cover. And it's kind of, sometimes that's the toughest part. You kind of get it seated here real good. And there we go. Now something these are notorious for is if you don't get the bolts a little tight in here, you definitely don't want to over tighten them. This will pop up, and and it'll be kind of be raised over the chrome. So we don't want that, because we want everything to be pro on this. So we kind of want to work with that and get everything back into position. Okay, you kind of want to work this into position, and I had to do it off camera. It took a little bit of jostling, but see, this is all flush now, and you definitely do not want to over tighten these. I usually just run them down till they stop on something like this, where you don't bend or damage anything. But these have to have a little more than that, but not much, in order to keep this down. And it's all locked in and everything now. But I always like to try to do work to the point that they can't tell anybody was ever in it. I don't like to scratch the screw heads by over tightening or anything like that. So it looks all stock, all original, untampered with. So if it ever goes to service, now in the beginning we don't tighten it real tight. If it ever goes to service to somebody else, they're going to wonder, or they're not even going to wonder. They're not even, they're not even going to say there's anybody ever been in it. Nobody's ever touched it. That they're the first ones to touch it, to do some kind of service on it or something. Let me kind of run this one in, but not tight yet. Okay, you take this over here, and no trick to it. It's all straightforward, but you run your screws in, not snug yet. Just run them almost all the way down is the term I'll use at this point. Alright. Kind of run this one in. And thank goodness for magnetic screwdrivers, because I didn't feel much like threading these in with my fingers. Not at this age. I have my senior moments. Okay, now those are still loose to the fit. Now here's why I've done that. I'm going to take this here, and this is the rear screw that I told you about. Okay? And what you want to do on that is you want to put it in like so, and be sure you got it threaded. And this one you do want to tighten down. And this will be sure that the cabinet is pushed up flush against the chrome facing of the radio. And before you tighten the side screws. Otherwise, if you tighten these side screws first, then you know, this may not be all the way back, and it's just good practice to do it this way. So we'll go ahead and run this one in, and this one don't have to be real tight. Run it in till it stops here. Okay, it just stopped. We don't want to scratch up the screw, and then maybe a couple 1/8 of an inch turn. That's it. You don't put no more torque on it. You don't want to bend this. You want the factory look. You don't want to put over torque where you see little bends in this where it was over tightened and stuff. That's no good. That's not the right way to do it. You don't want you know, to bounce and beat up a new radio like that. So at least I don't. I don't know about you. You know. So okay, now we can move to these side ones, and these I don't want to, but you have to tighten a little tighter than normal. Okay, it's snug now. Go a little bit more. You're pressing down on this at the same time where it don't go nowhere. Go a little bit more till it stops, and then just a gun. Just there you go, just like that. And you can see, you can tell a little bit of indentation there, and I don't like to do that. But it's not damaging, but it is tight, and it has to be. Otherwise, this is going to pop up over time, and believe me, it will. It really will. And this is a possibility. It could be unique to my radio, but one way or another, it will. So now you want to spin it over, and let's do the other side. And we'll push it down. The screw's already threaded. Kind of get this in view. We'll push it down. The screw's already threaded. We'll run it down. And it's tightened. And a little more. Kind of set there. You'll get the feel for it where you don't strip it. And one more till it'll start to turn again. One more till it stops, and then just a little push like that. Okay, that's good on that. Now these here, the rear ones, all you got to do, you don't have to put that kind of torque on them. Run them in. Okay, it stopped. Just a little more. That's it right there. That's all you have to put on those. Okay, we'll do another one. We'll do the last one here. Same thing on this one. Cautionally run it in. It tightens. Just a little more. That's it right there. You don't have to put any more torque on those at all. Just enough torque that if the radio is moved around or in a mobile application or something, these don't loosen and fall out. That's all you got to worry about. Okay, that's pretty much the conversion from 10-meter radio to CB radio for the Radioddity QT40. And this is really a nice little radio, and one of the better things I've been able to own. So anyway, I hope that helps somebody out, and I know that there's a lot of these videos on the conversion on here, so maybe this one will have something that it don't. While I've got it here, this is your let me see which one this one is. This is your external speaker, and this is your PA speaker. This is your computer interface. This does have software, and you can do a lot of programming and a lot of changing on the options on the radio. And of course, this is standard. Everybody recognizes this. This is your 12-volt power supply. And these, if you run them inside, have to have a good, at least a 30-watt power supply to do it justice and stuff. So I don't think, then of course this is the heatsink, but I don't think there's anything else on here that I can really show you that you don't already know if you're into radios and stuff. So okay, that's it, and that's the conversion to CB for the Radioddity QT40 10-meter radio. And thank you for watching. Catch you in the next one. Bye.